Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of archaeoastronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information. It's the Winter Solstice Extravaganza, a festival unlike any other in the world. Join us for 5 days and 5 nights in the Caribbean island of Antigua. Experience our beaches, our historic island tour, splendid accommodations, and our plant-based meal. And of course, the sunrise and the sunset hike to the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, Greencastle Hill, Mount Anu, amongst the megaliths that align with the stars. Reserve your spot today and join us from Wednesday the 18th to Sunday the 22nd of December 2024 for the Winter Solstice Extravaganza. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. The head that once was crowned is crowned with glory now. Yes, glorifying the King Jesus, Emperor Haile Selassie first, for following. Give thanks for such a joyous and wonderful celebration. And of course, I myself saying Asante Sana, which is to give thanks for all of those who would have taken the time to come and sup with us this evening as we continue to celebrate, enjoy. We're talking about the coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie I, 1930, the 2nd of November, and we're giving thanks also for that of the coronation of a King Menelik II. But yes, royal family, this is the Tiger's Nest, a special edition of the Tiger's Nest. And of course, as you can see, we're coming to the full international community, and we will be premiering this on the YouTube channel. But give thanks for the root of this, Radio Anu. Give thanks for the international flavor and the universal spice. Now, this evening, I want to take time to go into a mystic that I was actually looking into as it relates to the vice president at this time of the United States of America, one Kamala Harris. Now, many people will be watching this video after the election. We're not coming here trying to pretend to be no prophet. So whatever the results would have been, remember that this was done before the literal voting day itself. But of course, quite timely, because we are going to look into something I was observing myself as it relates to Kamala Harris and two stars within the Andromeda constellation. And just the whole science of the Andromeda is something also to look into, because she was put up as a sacrifice. Andromeda, you know the story. She was put up as a sacrifice. But anyway, we give thanks for the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Give thanks for those who are here with us, definitely celebrated the coronation of Haile Selassie I. But let me highlight this for you, royal family. Remember that the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd of November, these are very spiritual days. This is the time when the portals are open. And this is why Haile Selassie I would have taken the actions that we would have observed him taking in 1930. Now, in Antigua, right here in Wadadli, Anu, they are celebrating the 43rd anniversary of independence. I'm talking about from the British colonialists, although they still swear allegiance to the monarchy of Britain when they take political office. But I mean, I guess that's just how it goes. But on the 1st of November now, that is the date in the early 1900s, 1905, when Haile Selassie I, at that time, he was liege to Fari. He was 13 years of age, and he was given the title Dideshamash. I'm sure many of you understand the history there. Of course, Ras Mokennen, his father, that's the father, Ras Mokennen, great general Ras Mokennen, definitely next in line for the throne. Ras Mokennen was definitely the individual that blessed him with that title, the governor of Harar. So in all reality, as almighty God as Haile Selassie may be, it's not as if he just drop out of the sky and bam, all powers, you know. He's coming from a royal lineage. He's coming from a dignified nobility, you know. He's coming from an ancient monarchy. He's coming from great people. Yeah. Menelik II, Ras Mokennen, Ras Alula, Ras Mengasha, Johannes, and other great generals, Tekla Haymanot, who would have defeated the Italians in 1896, for those who are here to attend class, book and pen. 1896, defeated the Italians, and President Crispi or Prime Minister Crispy in the Battle of Adwa. 1st of March. Didn't take them no time. Just bam, 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 1st of March. Until when? The 1st until when? Till when? The 1st of March. That's it. It's the 1st of March. This ain't no long World War, nothing here. The 1st of March, we bam, bam. That's how we deal with people. In fact, you want to hear about the same great Ras Alula who destroyed the enemy in 5 minutes. The same Italians trying a thing in 5 minutes at Dogali. And this is under the leadership of Emperor Johannes at the time. This is not Menelik's battle. This is Johannes's battle. The King John, the king and priest Prester John figure. This is Johannes the Fourth, by the way, the king from Tigray, king of Ethiopia. I hope everyone is full joy and understanding where we're going here. So Johannes Ras Alula, who was one of his greatest generals, would have destroyed the enemy in 5 minutes. Minutes, eh? Not even half an hour. 5 minutes. So we give thanks to these mighty and terrible warriors. So sticking to the agenda here now, the 1st of November, as a youth, 13 years of age, Liege Tafari got the title Dideshamash. And that means the keeper of the door or the keeper of the gate. General, he was given his own house. And when dignitaries would come and sit in with the great Ras Mokenen, he would sit with Ras Mokenen. And he was asked to give his analysis of the discussion when they were there, not when they left. And he was a general of some faction of his father's army. I think it was about 5,000 men. The God of Gods was, in control of at that time. So that was the title, 1st of November. Then now, follow me good, follow me royal family. This is the tiger's nest. I know some people when they come in, they like a quick fix and all. Let's get to the subject. Let's get to the topic. Let's get to the topic. Which topic? The Kamala thing? This is the topic, Rasta. We get into that. But I mean, if there was a topic, this is the topic. That stuff is okay. This is the subject. You understand? Let me be clear here. This is the tiger's nest, by the way. We have livicated people that look forward to this. People that set their whole evening around this. And they want a nice, comfortable program. This ain't no quickie thing. We're not looking for nobody to hit and run in here quicker. Oh, I'll get to the subject 10 minutes next. No. Well, this may not be for you. I'm sorry. We take deep breaths around here. So we have other things on the agenda as well. So we are speaking of our God, our King of Kings, the Almighty I. Oh, I know it hurts, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I am saying now that in 1930, when Haile Selassie chose the 2nd of November, listen, family, you got to understand it. You think they have Halloween around this same time? Nothing. Remember, this is what is referred to as All Saints, period. The 1st of November is referred to as All Saints Day. The 2nd going into the 3rd is called the Day of the Dead. These are days when the portals are open. These are spiritual moments. Halloween, trick or treat. Just like the devil himself, that's how he deals with holy days, comes and plasters his stuff over sacred moments. All Saints Night, Rasta. Trick or treat, it has become. And even though the people call it the Day of the Dead, in fact, they don't even call it that. That's how the rest of us interpret it. You got to understand the concept of the dead. That's why we don't deal with the dead. I know they have some people say, well, they speak to the dead. That's not what they really mean. They communicate with ancestors. Nobody can speak to the dead. In fact, let me say that again. Anybody can speak to the dead. Anybody, anyone can speak to the dead. I mean, a car coming down the road and he hits down a dog, you can go and the dog is dead. Eh? You can go and speak to the dog. Say, you didn't see the car coming, dog? You speaking to the dead. Now, if the dead is going to speak back, that's another thing. You see, the dead concept is a different concept. They have people walking around talking to you, and trust me, they're dead. But the spirit and the soul live it. So when you communicate with the ancestral spirit, come on. The physical that you have just came yesterday, when were you born? I mean, come on, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. How long you think you're going to be here? But your soul, your literal soul, which is the real you, is eternal. That's why I like to tell people, I don't have a soul. Take it easy. I don't have a soul. I have a physical anatomy, what you call a body. I ain't got no soul. I am the soul. The soul is me. That's the real you. You change the physical. So there are specific days where the celestial cosmic align. Ain't nothing to run from. The enemy has shrouded it and covered it with Halloween. Now, you don't mind dressing up like a skeleton, but when the conscious community comes into town and says, hey, this is a different time, you know. Oh, no, we're not into that. That's voodoo. Imagine that. You burning fire on the voodoo, yet still you're putting a sheet over you and putting holes in the sheet. Trick or treat. You don't have to be offended if I'm not talking to you. I know who I'm talking to. Don't worry. They're listening. You got to understand that we live in a system that has been designed to kill the Christ when he's born, just like the Herod in the Bible and the Pharaoh in the Bible. When the Messiah, they know, they understand the heaven. They understand the movements of the celestial. So they send out a decree to kill the firstborn. They do it in many different ingenious ways today. The education system is one of the brilliant ideas they came up with. Oh, this one will work for sure. This will kill them before they're 7 years of age. Yet still, we can still use the carcass that remains, you know, as labor, as a laborer. But we have killed the mind by their 7 years. Yeah, we've killed the will. We have murdered the spirit. We have cut the cord that connects them to their ancient ancestors. All of that is dead. School and church and the Cosby Show and some Kool-Aid and some fried chicken. And man, trust me, if they make it past 10, you got to watch them closely. That means they're one of the real warriors. I wonder if the people understand what I'm saying. Man, I came here to speak the truth, you know. I didn't come to entertain. I didn't come to clap and sing, Rasta. This is real business happening. So anyway, the King of Kings, the 2nd of November, 1930, on the 1st of November, he unveiled, which is obviously the anniversary now of him being given the title de Dejamash when he was only 13. But now in 1930, as he's being crowned the 2nd of November, he was already emperor since the 2nd of April, which mystically is the day before Empress Menen. Well, really the 3rd of April, because on the 2nd of, according to His Majesty in his autobiography, Empress Aditu would have passed on the 2nd of April. And he became the emperor on the 3rd of April. The next day, Empress Menen Earth Day, you know, Haile Selassie became the king of Ethiopia on Empress Menen's Earth Day. Some celebrate it in March, some in April. Well, we're dealing with the April one here. And what it shows you is that he's the same Asa. You know, we would have showed you the link between Haile Selassie and Osiris Asa. Well, he's the same Asa. He's the same Osiris. The same 72 people that came to Osiris's banquet, the same 72 nations that came to the King of Kings coronation, and of course, the full works. We would have gone through this a million times. But yet still, what I'm highlighting here is that the story of Asa shows you that on the head of his wife, Isis, is the throne. The throne, the Isis, the Aset, the or in yoga, the asanat, the throne. So how interesting it is that Isis is the throne and Isis is the wife of Osiris. And when Haile Selassie I became emperor, he became emperor on his empress's, his wife's birthday itself, the throne. That's the day he took the throne, you know. But officially the coronation was on the 2nd of November. Everything here is deep symbolism, and that's what the world is run by. Some mystic, subliminal messages. It's not just Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck have subliminal messages. The heavens declare the glory. So, you know, the 1st of November, Haile Selassie unveiled the statue of Menelik the Great, Menelik II, you understand, outside of where he's going to be coronated the next day, the 2nd of November. All of this is 1930. And keep in mind now, the 3rd of November is the anniversary of the coronation of Emperor Menelik in 1889. Now, this is very interesting and quite mystic, because what it adds to this is a very biblical and cosmic flavor. You know, I always highlight that in the book of Judges, almost all these judges ruled for 40 years. I never see nothing like that, and it's many of them. But it shows you the high symbolism of even the biblical text. They didn't rule for 40 years by a decree. Some of them died. Just 40 years. 40 years was the seed, just on a mystic level. And how the emperor went into Menelik II's 40th into the 41st anniversary, to me, is very deep. Keep in mind that Menelik II was crowned in 1889. 3rd of November, I think it's in Entoto. And Haile Selassie I in 1930. So we're looking at basically 41 years difference. Well, when the emperor was crowned on the 2nd of November, technically, he was still in the realms of the 40th anniversary of Emperor Menelik being crowned, because it was the next day, which is the 3rd of November, which will be the 41st anniversary of the crowning of Emperor Menelik. Keep in mind that the Emperor Haile Selassie just unveiled the statue of Menelik II the day before, which is the 1st of November, which is still the anniversary, which would be the 25th anniversary of him, Haile Selassie, getting the title, the Dejamash. All of this happening in that little 3-day period, that 3-day span, and key events. That's when Haile Selassie was crowned King of Kings, Negusa Nagas, at the same time understanding that it's a spiritual moment according to other aspects of knowledge. When the portals are open, stargates are activated. All Saints Night, I didn't create that. The Day of the Dead, that's not my idea. And Halloween, for sure, you know where that comes from, but they're all packed into the same period. Oh, there's an election tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. Holy Manuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So, you know, family, on a very simple level, and it's nothing, it's just something I was observing, and I said, hey, let me bring this to the family with an understanding. And let me just say here first, before we go into that also, very important, especially for those who may be checking out the NES for maybe the very first time. Of course, we are thankful for your presence with us. What I want to do is to reintroduce you and introduce those who have never been introduced to the magazine Kidemi. And of course, it is a very easy magazine to have access to. The link is in the description below the video, family. All you have to do is go to the video, scroll below and press the link and you get access to the magazine entitled Kidemi. Now, of course, remember that the next issue of Kidemi, like right now, the next edition of the magazine, I am looking forward once again, Royal Family, those of you who have not subscribed as yet, to make sure that you get it. You got to definitely email us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, and definitely subscribe for the next edition, upcoming edition of the magazine Kidemi. Now, for those who are willing to, who wanted to, I should say, advertise with us, well, family, now is the time. I can definitely tell you that this magazine is definitely taking off. Thousands of subscribers, tens of thousands of individuals who are definitely going through the pages. I'm sure as I'm speaking to you now, many people are going to the pages of the magazine Kidemi. We have a strong, very strong, rigorous marketing program and agenda that I put behind the magazine. For our statistics, you can ask for that information and we can show it to you. So when you advertise with us, that many people will be aware of your business for sure. A whole different demographic or graphics of people will be seeing what you have to offer as well. So the time is now. We're definitely locking off, taking in clients as it relates to advertising for the upcoming edition. So you got to contact us today. Remember, no matter what type of business you have, no matter what you think you are doing, you don't have to be worrying about the budget and all of that kind of stuff. Something's there for you. You can bet you whatever you have on that. So make sure you contact us now. I think you should contact us now. Whenever you see this, you should contact us now and let us know that, hey, Honorable Priest, I would like to advertise my business, whatever the business is. Well, not whatever, but I don't expect you to come with that kind of stuff. But we like to advertise for sure in the upcoming edition of the magazine Hidden. All right, that's the mighty prosperity. How many of you have your bottle of prosperity? I mean, come on, man, you gotta definitely make sure you get your prosperity. Let me just take a little touch here, make sure everything is in order. Boy. Yeah, the prosperity definitely to strengthen the prostate of the man, and of course, that's a product coming out of Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center. So definitely, family, even the prosperity, you can just press the prosperity bottle and you order it right here from us, right in the magazine itself. All right, beautiful. So remember, you know how to contact us and we will definitely give you more information on how you can advertise with us and get your business around the world. We can set up a Zoom meeting and we can reason about it. But remember, time is definitely of the essence as we speak right now. All right. So this is what I was looking at, myself and a brother, the good brother there, Martin. We were having a discussion. We're going through what is known as anagrams and technograms. Of course, those who follow, my work, you would always hear me highlighting the anagrams. Now, what was outstanding to me is that these two stars, which is Alama and also the Syrah, sounds very much like Sarah, but Syrah. You may confuse it with Sirius. What is interesting about these two stars, first of all, when spelled back way, Sierra does spell Harris. And when spelled back way, Amalak does spell Kamala. Now, of course, we don't fly off the head when we see, these things. I don't want to sound humid, boastful there. But the reality is, I mean, we unravel the mysteries, eh? That's what we do. I'm just being straight here. I'm being very chalice. The other fella can be blunt. I'm going to be chalice here. We unravel the mysteries. We have been blessed by the Almighty Eye to crack the code. I'm telling you. I mean, sometimes I used to try not to say it, but I mean, I'm telling you, it is just overwhelming, you know. So I mean, not because we turn a word back to front and it spells something, we're gonna jump off of the chair and say, wow, I got it. No, we understand the science, it got to be deeper than that. And not because someone is running for the president of the United States of America and they're already the vice president, we're going to try to make something big about it because it's the in thing. We don't have no time to play. I'm very serious. When it comes to the divinity of the cosmos and what's going on, I'm telling you, I give thanks to be well informed. We don't have no time to take no conspiracy theory, no rumor, no gossip, or no make-believe anything. So yeah, in reality, it is the name of the current vice president that I would have taken and turned around. And Kamala, again, would have given the star Alama. And Harris would have given the star Sierra. Now, let's just look at Sierra. Harris is an extremely, extremely, extremely popular name. You may be a Harris. You may be related to the Harrises. So again, the chances of someone having a name, first name or last name, that corresponds to this very same star, Sierra, is the chances are high because there are plenty Harrises all around. First name as well as surname. You get what I'm saying? Okay, good. Now, I would assume there are many Kamalas in other parts of the world. And especially, I would assume maybe the Far East, the Indian world, etc. Kamala. Now, I'm looking at this rationally so that we don't fly off the head. But now let's examine these two stars closely. What about these two stars that stands out? They're both a part of the same constellation. They're both a part of not only the same constellation, but an extremely popular constellation. The constellation that has or houses the galaxy that is considered to be the galaxy of galaxies, M31. When you want a picture of a galaxy, you go for M31. That is the Andromeda galaxy. And the Andromeda galaxy is housed in the constellation that is known as Andromeda. Now, Andromeda or Andromeda, depending on how you pronounce it, is the daughter of the Ethiopian king, Kephas, and the daughter of the Ethiopian queen, Cassiopeia. And she's actually chained, depending on what aspect of the story you read. I really want you to hear me, family. She's actually chained up against a post, or chained, tied against a post, or chained up by her wrists. And the point is now, she was chained up as a living sacrifice because the enemy threatened the coast of Ethiopia. And the enemy sent the sea monster to destroy the coast of Ethiopia. And Queen Cassiopeia took her daughter Andromeda, and tied her up against the sea walls, facing the sea, for the beast to come and devour, thinking that if the beast would devour and eat up Andromeda, that it would appease the beast and appease the enemy, and Ethiopia would be saved. Now, Ethiopia was saved, but not because the beast got its delight or its desire in a delightful supper, but the warrior known as Perseus, follow me good, the warrior known as Perseus would have come on his way home after defeating Medusa. In fact, he had the head of Medusa in his hands. So if you ever watch the movie The Clash of the Titans, you see when he lick off Medusa's head, Medusa with all the snakes. Some say it's locks. But anyway, when he saw that the damsel was in distress, he came, and of course, he would have destroyed the beast as any great hero would have done. And he took Andromeda, and in the same breath, he would have saved Ethiopia, which I always personally, hear me, I always considered Andromeda to be Ethiopia herself. You say, what? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Does the story make sense, Rasta? That's a legend. That's an allegory. Not even a legend. That's an allegory. That's myth that I just explained there. Now watch me good. Kephas is actually a real Ethiopian king in different ways. We don't want to go too deep, but for those who can handle it, handle it. Kephas or Kefe is an Ethiopian king by name in history, although Kephas is still symbolic of the great Ethiopian king Haile Selassie I. You understand? The Kephas in the heavens, the constellation Kephas, is symbolic of the coming Ethiopian king. Brother Charles Finch speaks of this often. The coming Ethiopian king, when the jackal shall be removed as the constellation of the North Pole, and Kephas will come in as the constellation of the North Pole. And of course, the jackal is Anpu, Anubis, and Kephas is Osiris, and John the Baptist went before the Christ, and Garvey went before the king. It's all celestial, it's cosmic, it is written in the heavens, which declares the glory, as the 19th Psalm clearly declares. You comprehend? So I'm trying to show you about Kefe. Kefe is the real Kephas, and Cassiopeia is the constellation, and Cassiope is the real Ethiopian queen. Now, this is another thing, just to give you a quick rundown here. When you see the Ethiopia spelled with the A, although in reality, the A is really the ancient way of spelling it. But in this modern time, if you look up Ethiopia with the A, it will really take you to a Greek mythological outlook of Ethiopia's history. You got to understand this to get what I'm getting at here. You may be saying, what does this have to do with Kamala Harris? I told you already. This is not SNL. This is the tiger's nest. Man, I'm speaking so fast just because I want to get in everything. And, to be honest, I know some people, the attention span ain't too long. In fact, we have gone beyond the attention span of many, many, many people already. You get me? So I'm very conscious of one's, even patience when gaining knowledge, to be straight. And there are those who can sit and listen for 10 hours. You could speak as slow as the snail move. And leave all these gaps. Steady Achilles. It's somewhat sad that you have to, when edifying your people, you have to bring them colors, and moving parts, sound effects, and entertain them. And a guitar and a trombone and scratch a record so they can say, yeah, that sounds good. And they learn something in the process. Don't make it too long, just about 5 minutes. All of that. That's what slavery would have done to us. So the lesson I'm giving here, I'm telling you, straight up, it's deep. We're on the eve of the election. I'm not giving no crash course. I'm inviting you into the dome, of the ambassador priest. So I'm showing you now that the Ethiopia with the A concept is really, or I should say, how it's seen today. Because Ethiopia, in a sense, is a Greek word. I think most of us understand that. Yet still, it's a Greek fashion term, but Ethiops is an Ethiopian king. Not from Greek mythology, but from Ethiopian history. Now, even in Greek mythology, they have a king list too, I'm telling you. And a whole story behind it, but it's a bit, not a bit, it's different to a large degree, similar to some degree to the Ethiopia's real king list. Now, we went through this already in a program. It's right there on the YouTube where we highlighted the differences to you. So now, listen to me good, please. So in the Greek rendition of this whole story, it highlights the Ethiopian couple, king and queen, Kephas and Cassiopeia. But I'm showing you the real Ethiopian king, Kefe, ruled hundreds of years apart from Cassiope, which is the queen. But that's what Greek mythology does. It takes the truth and mix it up and bring it out in its own way and its own fashion. That is why you have the statues of Memnon. How many of you know about the statues of Memnon? Who is Memnon? Memnon is a Greek fable, mythological character. But the statues of Memnon are not found in Greece. They're in Kemet in Egypt. The statues of Memnon are statues of Amenhotep III. So what they would have done, they would have taken Amenhotep III and his history and transferred it to Memnon. Memnon is a super god, you know. Amenhotep III was worshipped by the Nubians, just like his wife Queen T, who was seen as Hathor in flesh. You understand me? So that these Greeks, you know, they understand, they comprehend the depths of our history and would have taken and obviously tried to classify it in their own culture and in their own running. So that's why you get Jesus and all these weird things. But the reality is now, again, Memnon is Amenhotep the third. You see me? So it's the same thing I'm trying to highlight here when I'm bringing an understanding of the story of Andromeda. Now, Andromeda is not a real character as such. How could she be? Kephas is Kefe. Kephas is not real, you know. Kephas is an idea that came from Kefe. Okay, for example, the builders of the three pyramids, Khufu. Khufu is called Kephas. And Menkara and Khafra is called, um, I think, I can't even remember the Greek names. Imagine that. I've gone so far from that. But they have their own Greek name, just like Asa is Osiris, and Aset is Isis, and Anpu is Anubis. And Yeshua is Jesus. Yeshua, I'm very sure. So that is why now I'm trying to show you that the story of the Ethiopian king and queen that is seen in the stars, Kephas and Cassiopeia, represents two real people, but they were hundreds of years apart from each other. So their daughter Andromeda couldn't be no real person, although they were real, yet still Greekified and literally seen in celestial expressions. Their daughter represents Ethiopia herself. Andromeda represents Ethiopia. M31 in the heavens. Now, the left leg of Andromeda is the star Alamak, which is Kamala Bakwe. And the head, from the leg, from the foot to the head, and the head of Andromeda is Sira, which is Harris. So Kamala Harris, by name, is seen from the feet. The anagram, an anagram is nothing I make up. I mean, come on, man. If you understand history, there's anagram all over. There's technogram all over. That's numbers. Her name is seen from the foot to the head. All right. Interesting. But what is standing out here now, again, in the story, Andromeda was a sacrifice. Now, even through all of this, I could just leave it and say, all right, this is just by chance. Yeah, it's by chance, but remember there's another Kamala Harris. Yeah? Who? Oh, you forget. You forget. He died literally 2 or 3 days before Kamala Harris became the vice president or was chosen by Joe Biden to be his vice president running mate. He's known as Kamala, the Ugandan giant, the wrestler. That's his name, Kamala Harris. That's his name. I didn't make it up. That's his surname, Harris. The wrestler who was used to make a mockery of Idi Amin. His name is Kamala Harris. Listen, don't get upset with me. That's what it is. Eh, the Ugandan giant. Now, Kamala, he died at least 2 to 3 days before Kamala Harris was chosen by Joe Biden to be his running mate. Now, even that, I would have said, oh, that's just coincidence. If I didn't understand all the links between President Abraham Lincoln and President John F. Kennedy. Everything I'm speaking about here, we would have taken the time and done programs on these topics, subject areas. The presidency of the US. I mean, 100 and plus similarities between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. What can go so? What can go so? The way they were assassinated, the both of them, and everything. You can go from top to bottom, and not just them, their supposed killers, their wives, their children, so many similarities. It's unbelievable. I don't even want to start, to be honest. That's the reality here. And then Ronald Reagan, and how we link that to Pope John Paul II by date and by time. But the thing with the presidents, this is not us unraveling this. This is history. You can go and Google this. The similarities. Go and Google the similarities between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. You would be up all night reading, because it's not just about them. Then it goes into their supposed killers. I'm telling you, and their killers' wives, the amount of similarities, grandparents, names, and children they have. I said, this is ridiculous. You would believe somebody sat down and would have plot this whole thing out. You mean to tell me all of this is just a coincidence? This is a coincidental world thing. And then even Mr. Donald Trump with the books that were written about Barron Trump. We would have done programs on that too. That's why I have to just jump on all these things, because if I'm to make any stop, how long we're going to be here. But these programs are there. You can just visit the YouTube channel. And hey, Russ, what I'm saying is something you can go online and look for yourself. The similarities between Kennedy and Lincoln, that's something you need to check out. Believe me, if you don't have time to visit the video, just Google it and read. President Trump and Barron, the book about Barron Trump. What's the book's name? But just look it up. It's there. And the amount of mystic links. It's as if even before these people were born, the day they were born, Ronald Reagan, and when he was born, and when he became 11, when Pope Pius 11 became Pope Pius 11. Yeah? And the links he had with the popes, and even Pope Paul being shot the same time with him. The Ugandan giant, the wrestler, big actor, died, and 3 days after, and his name is Kamala Harris. And 3 days after, Kamala Harris is chosen to be the running mate of Joe Biden. So now, follow me go. Knowing all what I know, I think I would be foolish, understanding astronomy too, and realizing that we have two stars. Not just any two stars now, but the foot and the head of Andromeda. And these stars, spelled backward, is the name of a very, at least for the moment, famous person. In fact, this is one of the two most outstanding people right now. The world is watching her and him. Now, these people play games. We're talking about the cooperation of the USA. You know it is, eh? If you understand this, you know the depths of masonry and the Illuminati. You get what's happening here. So when they say Andromeda now, remember Andromeda is seen as a living sacrifice to appease a beast that was coming to destroy the city. That's how the story goes. And it is the queen that said, hey, we have to give the beast something to eat. And she is the most precious thing. That's what the beast was. But the beast never ate Andromeda in the story. Perseus came. Now Perseus is Kedas Gerogis, St. George. You see, the St. George story of George coming, destroying the dragon is the same story of Andromeda. The woman that you see tied up in St. George, the St. George epic, that is Andromeda there, if you understand how symbolism goes. So St. George, Kedas Gerogis, who we all know is Ethiopian, Heru or Horus was the first Kedas Gerogis, the first St. George on the horse, snapping down the dragon and saving the damsel in distress, which is the original Andromeda. So if you notice, I'm carrying you through some different cultures at the same time and showing you how the one story may be seen in different forms. This is education really here, but at the same time, it is very relative to many aspects and many facets of life. So you must understand we're dealing with a kingdom that lives on sacrifice in different ways. Whether it's a literal take out somebody close to you, sacrifice for you to reach where they want you to reach, or whether it's, hey, what's wrong with Bill? We've paid him a lot of money to be a good Negro. What's he saying there? Give him a few years in jail and let's see what happens when he comes out. There are many different ways that they perform their sacrificial rituals. Many different ways. We are all taken up with the entertainment of Trump and Kamala Harris right now. We are all having a jolly good time looking at the debates, well, not literal debates, but the debateful discussions back and forth, and the organizations that run the news networks and their little spin on all the stories and the polls and who is going out to vote. Some of us are going to sit down behind the television and watch people casting their ballot tomorrow. Nothing better to do but eat popcorn and watch people vote. Yeah. But what I'm saying, family, I personally, just knowing what I know, and I think you can agree, and understanding the world we're in, understanding how they use the celestial heavens. You may say, but how would her mother know this stupid talk? How would her mother know when she was born that her name and the star and this and that, and she would be president and vice president and the whole works. Well, as I said, Ronald Wilson Reagan was born on the 6th of February, 1911. And what is interesting is, and as I highlighted to you, even just his makeup, Ronald Wilson Reagan, the 6 letters a piece in his name, Ronald Wilson Reagan, 6th of February. If we use February in this Ethiopian context, you go on to the 6th month there, Ronald Wilson Reagan. Now, you don't have to feel away if you have 6 letters in each of your name. It doesn't mean anything. Marcus Garvey have 6 letters in each name, you know. And if you're born the 6th of February, it don't mean you're a demon, I'm sure. I mean, Bob Marley as well was born on the 6th of February. But I'm still showing you that is why coincidence. You can't mix up coincidence with mystics. Coincidence do coincide, but it's not everything that has a number and look at link means you're going to blow your head. But when they continually show themselves, especially when you know who you're talking about, we're talking about Ronald Wilson Reagan, President of the US of A. What number? I think he's the 40th, You crazy. What are you talking about? That rode the red horse. Scripture talks about him that came on the red horse to take peace from the earth. Did his mother know that on his 11th birthday, when they were blowing out the 11 candles in Rome, they would have chosen Ambrose Ratty to become the 11th Pius, Pope Pius the 11th. Pope Pius the 11th became Pope Pius the 11th on Ronald Wilson Reagan's 11th birthday. Oh, come on, Ras. So what does that mean? Now, hold on, man. Do you know that the only time a pope came to the inauguration of a president was at the inauguration of Ronald Reagan? And not just any pope, Pope John Paul II. And when you look at them seconds there, the two, you know it looks like an 11. Got to keep in mind, they both were shot the same year. And we highlighted the scripture that goes with this in Revelation 13, verse 3. When one of the head of the beast was wounded and he didn't die, and the world marveled at the beast. And Revelation 13 highlights the dragon and the beast, and the dragon giving power to the beast, the only pope to visit at the inauguration at that time of a president, John Paul II. And John Paul II is no easy character, neither. And they both was wounded. None of them died. The 13th of May, and some say the 31st of March within the realms is the 3 in 1 and the 1 in 3. And listen good. And the M, but listen good. It is Revelation 13 that highlights this. So, without a doubt, family, you cannot tell me by chance that John F. Kennedy came to the presidency exactly 100 years after Abraham Lincoln. They both were assassinated in office. They both had a son that died while they were in office. They say that Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln that told him not to go to Dallas. And Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy that told him not to go to the theater. The man that shot Lincoln in the theater ran into a warehouse. The man that shot Kennedy shot him from a warehouse and ran into a theater. And we can go on and on and on and on and on, and it's just nonstop. And I'm saying all of that, and I didn't want to go too far into these depths of explaining, pardon me, these other presidential mystics. But I just wanted maybe to whet the appetites of those who do not know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's riddled with mystics, it's riddled with so many coincidences that you have to come to the conclusion that somebody would have made this stuff up before these people were born. The wives of the presidents, Kennedy and Lincoln, exact similarity down to the languages they spoke and the ages when they met them. I'm telling you, this ain't no joke, family. That's my point. You don't know the depths of this devil here. So again, in conclusion, I would admit, because I play around with these things, I take names and do things. Remember in the Bible, some say you are Elias, and some say you are Isaiah. And remember when we scramble those names with Elijah and turn it around, you get Haile Selassie, right in the scripture. Those who have never seen that program, you can check the YouTube channel again. Haile Selassie's name in the Bible, our YouTube channel. Haile Selassie's name in the Bible. Yeah, nobody can deny that. So it's just the mystics. So we do these things. So yeah, we take names and Kamala and Harris and bam, hey, that's the name of two stars. Could just be coincidental. All right. These two stars are in the same constellation. That merits an investigation. Which constellation? Andromeda, a woman. The damsel Andromeda, who was the living sacrifice. Interesting stuff. To appease a beast? Which beast? This is something else. Yeah. But according to the story, Gedesgerogis or St. George, Perseus, would have come and rescued her. Now, I'm not giving you no, love story here for you to happy ending and all of that. In fact, I'm just putting what I would have observed on the table. I would not have even considered that we would have given the full moral to this story here. In fact, in all honesty, we're at the point of opinion. What do you have to say? I know we have intelligent people watching us. What's going on here with these stars, within the constellation of Andromeda, speaking the name of who may be the first woman president of the United States of America. And as I said before, this was done before the actual election day, the night before, really. And we're not pretending to be those super prophet and we know exactly what's going to happen and exactly how much votes they're going to get and the electoral college and all of that. No, we don't know what the script says because it's written already. And obviously, that's my point. It is written already. Ask the Ugandan giant. And it's interesting that Uganda, who houses the White Nile, and Andromeda represents Ethiopia, who houses the Blue Nile. And so you see, the police officer would always tell you, you have to think like the criminal. You understand? Yeah. So why I'm showing you those things? Because this is how the skull and bones think. This is how the bloodsuckers think. And those rituals and rites of that uh, sort of culture there. Yeah, man, royal family, this was a heavy one and quite timely. Eh? So I don't know if you are going out to vote. As many of our conscious brothers say, many people would have died for you to have the right to vote. Well, I wouldn't be quick to deny that, but I hope they didn't die for you to go and make foolish decisions. But anyway, we do give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. As I always say, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of the Bible will become a mystery. And I think in this case here, for sure, it takes some realize to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Yes, royal family, give thanks for the triple celebration. Menelik II, Negus and Nagas Haile Selassie I, the Deja match. Yes, give thanks. And remember, email me, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com and advertise with the upcoming edition of Kidem. It has been a wonderful sit down. I really full enjoyed this one. Yeah. Andromeda, living sacrifice. Eh? Let's see how this turns in. Emmanuel I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, Royal. Give thanks. Bless him.